A warm welcome to our comprehensive news package for today on Ogun State Television. I am Simiat Abaru. Our top stories. President Tinubu swears in former Chief of Defense Staff General Musa as Defense Minister. Federal Executive Council approves the 2026 to 2028 NTEF project, 34 trillion naira revenue. Ogun 2026 appropriation bill passes second reading at the State House of Assembly. And on the foreign scene, U.S. President Trump hosts DRC and Rwanda leaders to seal breakthrough peace deal.
And on business news, mining operators reject Northern Governor's 6-month loan plan. I bring you details of this and other stories on the business segment of the news. I am Olayemi Takuro. Stay tuned.
Still on the news, Super Eagles captain William Troost Ekong announces retirement from international football. Join me on sports segment of the news for the details of this and other updates. I am Sheyi Alao Tongowe.
Success is stumbling from failure to failure with no loss of. You can watch us live on Facebook at Ogtv and Ogun State Television, YouTube at Ogtv Abeokuta, and on Ogtv website www.ogtv.com.ng/live. For the latest news and reports, check us on these platforms: X at Ogun TV, Instagram at Ogun State Television, or download Ogtv app on Apple and Google Play stores. President Bola Tinubu has sworn in former Chief of Defense Staff, retired General Christopher Musa, as the new Defense Minister. The former CDS took oath of office at the State House, according to Bayo Nonuga, Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy. Following the resignation of Abubakar Badaru as Defense Minister on health grounds, President Tinubu nominated Musa and transmitted his name to the Senate for screening as a replacement for Badaru. Speaking on the floor of the Senate during his screening, Musa assured Nigerians that the country has the capacity to win the war against insurgency, kidnapping and banditry, in so far as there is holistic collaboration by all. He stated that with the right number of boots on the ground, what was required was for Nigeria to work as a united country to defeat the criminals. Musa recommended that state governors in particular and other high-profile political office holders must collaborate with the armed forces in addition to deploying modern technology and adequate budgetary provisions for the counter-terrorism war. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has forwarded a new batch of non-career ambassadorial nominees to the Senate. The new nominees include the immediate past sole administrator of Rivers State and the former Chief of Naval Staff, Ibok Eta Ibis, former presidential aide, Ita Enang, former Imo State First Lady, Chioma Ohakim, and former Minister of Interior and former Chief of Army Staff, Abdulrahman Dambazao. The nominations were announced during plenary after Senate President Godswill Akpabio read the President's letter on the floor of the chamber. In the letter, Tinubu urged the Senate to give swift consideration to the nominees to help fill key diplomatic positions. Akpabio referred the list to the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs with a directive to screen the nominees and report back within 1 week. In another development, the Federal Executive Council, FEC, has approved the 2026 to 2028 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework, MTEF, outlining Nigeria's economic outlook, revenue target, and spending priorities for the next 3 years. Briefing journalists after the FEC meeting in Abuja, the Minister of Budget and National Planning, Atiku Bagudu, said oil price was pegged at $64 per barrel, while the exchange rate assumption for the budget year is 1,512 naira per dollar. He said while the council set an oil production benchmark of 2.02 million barrels per day for 2026, the fiscal planning is based on the cautious 1.8 million barrel per day. Gudu stated the exchange rate projection reflects the fact that 2026 precedes a general election year, adding that all the assumptions were drawn from detailed macroeconomic and fiscal analysis by the Budget Office and its partner agencies. According to the minister, inflation is projected to average 18% in 2026. Gudu said based on the assumptions, the total revenue accruing to the Federation in the 2026 was estimated at 50.74 trillion naira to be shared among the 3 tiers of government. The minister said statutory transfers are expected to amount to roughly 3 trillion naira, while debt servicing was projected at 10.91 trillion naira. The MDEF also projected that nominal GDP will reach over 690 trillion naira in 2026 and climb to 890.6 trillion naira by 2028, with the GDP growth rate projected at 4.6% in 2026. And away from the federal story, now to Ogun State. Ogun State has recorded an unprecedented leap in infrastructure development, constructing and rehabilitating more than 1,500 kilometers of roads within 6 years. This has surpassed the cumulative achievement of the previous 16 years, and the administration says the renewed focus on mobility, access and connectivity has continued to unlock economic opportunities, ease transportation and strengthen trade across communities statewide. Also in agriculture, the state government reform are driving food security and expanding the agro-economy, with more than 33,000 farmers supported and over 9,000 hectares brought under mechanization in the same period. Governor Dapo Abiodun made this known while presenting the 2026 appropriation bill to the Ogun State House of Assembly. Bumi Adigun completes the story.
Infrastructure remains the backbone of any nation's economy, forming the framework upon which growth, productivity, and social development are anchored. Roads, rail, energy supply, water systems in digital connectivity are the arteries that power commerce, is the movement of people and goods, and link communities to opportunities that enhance livelihood. When infrastructure is efficient, business thrives, industries expand, and regions become more economically vibrant. Agriculture, on the other hand, stands as one of the most enduring pillars of economic strength, job creation, and food security. It provides raw materials for industries, sustains rural households, stabilizes national food supply, and contributes significantly to GDP. In a developing economy, agriculture is not just a sector, it is a lifeline that feeds the population, drives exports, and empowers thousands of families across the value chain. In Ogun State, the present administration has significantly invested in road development to open communities, expand trade routes, and support industrial growth. In 6 years, over 1,500 kilometers of roads have been constructed and rehabilitated, surpassing the achievements of previous government in 16 years combined.
This one is not only impactful to Ogun Central, but also Ogun West. That's the Songo Ota Abeokuta Road. We all know what the condition of that road was when we assumed office. That road is one of the longest roads in this state. It's one of the most critical roads in this state. As a matter of fact, it's been acclaimed as probably the second or third busiest road in Nigeria. That road is 74 kilometers, and it is a federal road. The House, distinguished guests, you know all what we went through to take over that road and begin the construction of that very important road. It is my hope that before the end of the first quarter of next year, that road will be completely reconstructed.
In agriculture, the state has recorded remarkable strides aimed at boosting food production, empowering farmers, and strengthening agro-value chains. Through investment in mechanization, logistics, and processing, over 33,075 farmers have been supported. More than 9,000 hectares of farmland mechanized, and thousands of inputs, including fertilizers, agrochemicals, fish and poultry feed distributed.
This is a budget of sustained legacy. It's the budget that will cement the economic development trajectory of His Excellency in Ogun State. It's a 1.7 trillion budget, and the people of Ogun State should expect more development arising from this budget.
As Ogun State moves into the 2026 fiscal year, the appropriation bill prioritizes the completion of ongoing projects under the shared development pillars.
The administration hasn't done badly, although it could do better. Infrastructure in particular, because that's the mainstay of the development of any economy. Yes, same thing with agriculture.
My expectation is that things will definitely be better, especially now that inflation is under control.
Key commitments including the construction of about 450 kilometers of urban and rural roads across the state, as well as the establishment of agricultural transformation centers and agro-processing facilities to strengthen food production and economic resilience. Bumi Adigun, Ogtv News.
Barely 24 hours after the presentation of the 1.7 trillion naira year 2026 appropriation bill by the Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun, titled The Budget of Sustainable Legacy, to the State House of Assembly, the bill has secured second reading as members engaged in extensive deliberation on the fiscal proposal. The debate on the appropriation bill followed the motion moved by the Chairman House Committee on Finance and Appropriation, Honorable Mushefiu Lamidi, seconded by Honorable Wahab Haruna, and supported by the whole House through a voice vote. Correspondent Kola Oliosho covered the plenary. Details are in this report.
Leading the debate on the bill, Chairman House Committee on Appropriation, Honorable Mushefiu Lamidi, noted that the budget was a testament to the shared commitments of the current administration in ensuring continuity, consolidation, and responsible governance. He added that the appropriation bill will strengthen the social sector, particularly education, healthcare, and social welfare, ensuring citizens have the quality services, stating that it would help empower youth and grow jobs by enabling innovation, entrepreneurship, and private sector-led expansion.
This document is consistent with our long vision for a prosperous and well-governed state. Our committee state will scrutinize every detail, engage all the entities, and ensure transparency and value for money. But we must also ensure timely passage so that governance is not slowed down and essential projects continue unhindered.
According to him, the next year budget would help deepen public finance management reforms, promoting transparency, accountability, and value for money across all MDAs, ensure equitable distribution of development across all zones of the state. All the other lawmakers supported his position, with a commendation to the governor for his relentless efforts at repositioning the state for socio-economic development. The lawmakers urged the state government to ensure that all projects listed in the new fiscal year be evenly distributed, especially the rural and border communities, to advance more development at the grassroots level. They also requested an increase in the release of funds to critical sectors like health, agriculture, and public order and safety for improved health facilities, enhanced food security, and strengthened security within the communities in the state. The lawmakers lauded the state government for promoting accountability and transparency to promote economic stability and aid all-round development. In his remark, the Speaker, Right Honorable Luda Esielemide, appreciated the governor for the fiscal proposal and urged lawmakers to prioritize their core mandate of robust oversight to ensure all ministries, departments, and agencies are properly monitored to ensure that the budget is implemented to the letter.
What they have been doing is global performance of budget. It has to be sectoral. If you have sectoral performance, you will have everything so that you don't need to talk more. But to this end, we still give him kudos on all his achievements in the state.
The subsequent adoption of the debate was done through motion for adoption moved by Majority Leader Yusuf Sharif, seconded by Honorable Lukman Adeleye, and supported by the entire members, while the Speaker committed the appropriation bill to the House Committee on Finance and Appropriation for further legislative actions.
The Ogun State House of Assembly has approved a 300 billion naira funding request to support the 2026 annual budget, the 2026 to 2028 medium-term expenditure framework, and other long-term infrastructure projects, as well as funding of long-term pension obligations. The approval followed the presentation of the report of the Committee of the Whole titled Request for Bond Issuance, Public Offering, Book Building, Private Placement or other methods of the tune of 300 billion naira towards the partial funding of the 2026 annual budget and the 2026 to 2028 MTEF by the Deputy Speaker Bolane Latifa Tajayi during the plenary presided over by Speaker Uludai Selemide at the Assembly Complex of Kimoso Abiyokuta. According to the report, the Assembly had considered and endorsed the Governor's request to fund the 2026 annual budget, the 2026 to 2028 MTEF, long-term infrastructure projects and pension obligations. The Deputy Speaker later moved the motion for the adoption of the report, seconded by the Majority Leader, Honorable Yusuf Sharif, who thereafter moved that the report become a resolution of the House, seconded by the Minority Leader, Lukman Adeleye, and supported by the whole House through a unanimous voice vote. The Speaker thereafter directed the Clerk, Head of Legislative Service, Mr. Shakiru Adebaki, to send the clean copies of the approval to the Governor and other relevant stakeholders. Still ahead, House of Representatives fought removal of civic education computer studies from WAEC portal. More news and report after the break. Please stay with us.
Mommy, I get the school fees. You too much.
Now, money point.
Money points, thank you.
No worry, yourself go make am. Mo go buy ball.
Victor, even you they use money point?
Of course now, they use money point.
Confirm.
Money point, made for your progress.
You are still watching the news at 8 on Ogun State Television. The House of Representatives has urged the federal government through the Ministry of Education to rethink the removal of civic education, computer studies, and electrical installation, among others, from the West African Examination Council portal, citing the significance of the subject to national development. The resolution of the House followed the consideration and adoption of a motion of urgent public importance moved during plenary by Obokwo Foji. Speaking on the motion, Ofoji noted that though a review of the national curriculum is necessary from time to time, the affected subject remains a vital component of modern economies across the world. He said while acknowledging the effort to enhance the national curriculum, the timing is just not right. The motion was endorsed when subjected to a voice vote by the Deputy Speaker, Benjamin Kalu, who presided over the plenary session. Following the adoption, the House urged the Federal Ministry of Education to, as a matter of urgency and considering the limited time frame, rescind the implementation of the directive and give students a fair chance of success at the examinations. Ogun State government will continue to prioritize the welfare and well-being of its health and medical practitioners, strengthening the sector through various laudable initiatives that will bring healthcare delivery closer to the people at the grassroots. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Tomi Kuka, stated this while declaring open the National Executive Council meeting of the Nigerian Medical Association, NMA, at the June 12 Cultural Center, Kuto Abeokuta.
Medical practitioners across the country gathered at the auditorium of June 12 Cultural Center, Kuto Abeokuta, for its National Executive Council meeting with a theme Beyond Crossroads, Unlocking Health System Potential Through Partnership. Declaring the meeting open, the State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Tomi Kuka, notes that members of the Nigerian Medical Association play a crucial role in the sustenance of good health care delivery in Nigeria, urging them to keep the flag flying.
As Ogun State, we're truly honored to host this prestigious gathering, which brings together some of the finest minds and leaders in the medical profession. Let me especially acknowledge the thoughtful planning and coordination of the local organizing committee, whose efforts have ensured the seamless flow of activities since your arrival on Sunday and throughout the preliminary engagements. This year's theme, Beyond Crossroads, Unlocking Health System Potential Through Partnership, could not be more timely. In Ogun State, partnership remains central to His Excellency's agenda.
The guest speaker at the meeting, Dr. Babatunde Ikpai, a former commissioner for health in Ogun State, speaks on the challenges facing the medical sector in the country while encouraging members to support partnership in their operations.
Here, as we partner, the partnership will help us to understand the concept of operational efficiency. We will adopt task shifting strategies. We will, like I said, emphasize outreaches and ensure that we provide the cost-effective and low-unit service.
Earlier in his welcome address, the Ogun State Chairman, Nigerian Medical Association, Dr. Lukman Ogunjimi, acknowledged the efforts of the health institutions and medical association in the state in ensuring quality healthcare delivery, calling on government at all levels to put health sector at the front burner. Words of recognition were presented to some personalities who graced the occasion, including the State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Tomi Kuka.
The Ogun State Economic Transformation Project, OGSTEP, has held its 8th implementation support mission, marking a major milestone in the state's economic development journey. The event, which signaled the close of the 5-year World Bank-supported project, brought together stakeholders, partners, and beneficiaries who reflected on the achievement and long-term impact of the program. Bumi Adigun witnessed the event held in Abeokuta, and he completes the story.
The Ogun State government has concluded the 8th implementation support mission of the Ogun State Economic Transformation Project, OGSTEP, a World Bank-assisted initiative aimed at strengthening key economic sectors and expanding opportunities for citizens. Since 2019, the project has focused on improving the business environment, boosting agricultural productivity, enhancing education and skills development, and promoting gender inclusion, helping to lay a stronger foundation for sustainable growth across the state. Speaking at the event, Chairman of the Project Steering Committee, Mr. Dapo Okubadejo, disclosed that the project has driven a comprehensive transformation that strengthens institutions, improves human capital, expands economic opportunities, and positions Ogun State as a leading hub for sustainable growth in Nigeria.
To date, agribusiness firms have offtaken 283,582 tons of agricultural produce under this project. Skill development, we have empowered over 39,000 individuals, including 1,400 STEM teachers, 100 quality assurance officers, 120 technical instructors,
over 4,000 vocational trainees, 120 ministry personnel, and over 17,000 farmers, youths, women, and 60 artisans.
Also speaking, the Ogun State Coordinator of Ogtv, Mrs. Musumola Owodusi, said the final implementation support mission marks the end of the World Bank's 5-year support for the project.
Ogun State government, through the support of the World Bank, has invested heavily in both infrastructure, human capital development, and also in form of work tools and equipment, assets, both floating and fixed assets. And my call to the people is that let's use this well. Let's multiply it. Let's ensure that we take ownership so that in another 5 years, anyone who comes around will be happy to see that, oh, these things that have been put here to make the economy better, the individual economy and the economy of the state better.
Meanwhile, Chairman of the Project Technical Committee, Honorable Olaolu Olabinto, also commended Governor Abiodun, describing his leadership as a driving force behind Ogtev's progress.
Each mission has strengthened our processes and deepened our delivery capacity. Today's final mission is not just a concluding activity. It is an opportunity to reflect, consolidate our achievements, document lessons, and prepare for a sustainable project transition.
With the close of the 5-year World Bank supported project, stakeholders expressed optimism that the structures, skills, and systems established through Ogtv will continue to benefit the state as Ogun State moves into the next phase of its development agenda. The government says it remains committed to sustaining the gains recorded and ensuring that thousands of beneficiaries continue to contribute to a more prosperous and inclusive future. Boni Adigun, Ogtv News.
Ogun State is stepping up effort to improve access to clean water and sanitation as stakeholders gather in Abeokuta to assess the sector and plan future investment. The meeting forms part of preparations for the Ogun State Water Supply and Sanitation Master Investment Plan, supported by the Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation. Olaide Oloye reports from the event center in Abeokuta.
The workshop, organized under the state government's drive to strengthen water governance and expand access to safe water, brings together technical experts and policy actors working to improve this sector. Declaring the session open, the special advisor to the governor on sustainable development goals and water resources, Damilola Otubanjo, stresses diagnostic report forms the foundation for designing a realistic, data-driven and sustainable investment plan.
This document is designed to be able to allow that in the immediate short term, people can see the effect of a structured plan that is tailored to meet the needs of the people of Ogun State. So, yes, our people should expect improved service delivery in terms of how we are able to bring back to reactivation a number of our schemes that are currently not working. So we're doing all that we can to make sure that we're not just reactive in our responses to fixing our many schemes that are not currently functioning, but we have a properly structured program to ensuring that it is adequate and it is robust.
Consultant to the Governor Water Corporation, Mrs. Muinat Jaji, along with the representative of the Commissioner for Environment, Ola Oresonya, reaffirmed the state's commitment to achieving universal access to potable water and improve sanitation in line with national goals and global sustainable development targets.
They're having the master plan to identify, okay, for this scheme we need to have relaying of pipes. They look at the cost, then we know that we look for people, the international donors that can give us a grant or loan to cover such activity that they identify.
It has a good picture for the state because this is what we have been trying to do, especially in the area of sanitation in Ministry of Environment.
Resource persons present key findings from the sector review, highlighting service coverage levels, infrastructure gaps, institutional and financial challenges, and the potential for innovation and private sector participation.
To support the states in developing and improving the water supply and sanitation sector, primarily to diagnose where we are in the states and to identify investments that will be needed to ensure that the state's water utilities are able to supply water to the urban residents of the states within the short-term period, the medium-term period, and the long-term period of up to a period of 30 years.
With stakeholders now aligned on the sector's current status and the direction for future interventions, Ogun State takes a significant step towards realizing safe, reliable, and sustainable water and sanitation services for all. Olaide Oloye, Ogtv News.
The Ogun State Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development has continued its grassroots sensitization drive under the Nigeria for Women program Scale Up with an engagement at the Awolowo Market and at the Akaribo and paramount ruler of Remo Land Palace in Shagamu, Ogun State. The Akaribo and paramount ruler of Remo Land, Oba Adewale Ajayi, and other traditional rulers gave their royal blessings and support for the program's expansion. Kim Ago has more in this package.
The Nigeria for Women program Scale Up is a Nigerian government initiative to boost women's economic empowerment, support, and livelihood by expanding the reach of its original program. Officials of the program visited traders and women's group in the market to create awareness on the economic empowerment opportunities available through the initiative. Ogun State Project Coordinator, Nigeria for Women program Scale Up, Bolanle Fadairo, says the sensitization exercise focuses on improving financial inclusion, strengthening women-led businesses, and encouraging participation in women affinity groups across the state.
Our ward facilitators, they are the foot soldiers for this project. So they will go back to the community to sensitize our women, and the women will now form themselves into WAGs 25 in number. Each facilitator is to form and train 10 WAGs. So for local government, we are going to empower 30,000. For Adodota local government, we have 1,002 ward facilitators, and each ward facilitator is going to support 10 WAGs. So we are going to support 30,000 from that local government. For Shagam local government, we have 100 ward facilitators, and each one is to support 10 WAGs. So we are going to support 25,000 women here.
The Awolowo Market, Chief Mrs. Adenike Oshilesi, appreciates the team for their dedication to providing women with opportunities to grow their businesses. As part of the day's activities, the Nigeria for Women program Scale Up team also paid a courtesy call on the Akaribo and paramount ruler of Remo Land, Oba Adewale Ajayi, at his palace in Shagamu. The royal visit, according to the ministry, was aimed at securing traditional support for the program's expansion and ensuring community-wide acceptance. The Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development says the Scale-Up program will continue to reach more communities, markets, and institutions as part of its commitment to advancing women's socio-economic development nationwide. Nkem Agu, Ogtv News.
In a similar development, in its drive to strengthen women's economic empowerment, the Ogun State government is intensifying sensitization across the 4 local government areas under the Nigeria for Women Project Scale Up initiative. The latest stop is Adodota local government, where officials meet community groups and market women to deepen awareness about women affinity groups known as WAGs. The sensitization campaign aims to build social capital and strengthen women's participation in community development, entrepreneurship, and financial inclusion. Tony Ogundipe's report is presented in this package.
It is a joyful scene in Ado-Odo-Ota local government as women sing and dance in excitement during the official flag-off of the Nigeria for Women Project Scale-Up Sensitization Exercise. The program begins with an engagement session for ward facilitators, who are expected to play key roles in mobilizing women and ensuring that the project objectives are achieved at the grassroots. In his address, the Olu of Orile Igboko, Oba Olasukomi Oladeinde, expressed his appreciation to the Ogun State government for extending the initiative to communities within Ado-Odo-Ota.
The WAGs to Oba Adeshola Market today. We'll be glad to work with them, and I'm in support of this program, and I pray that everybody should join and support us too.
The sensitization team, led by the state project coordinator of NFWPSU, Bolanle Fadairo, moves to Lusada Market in Igbesa, where market women receive further enlightenment on how women affinity groups operate.
We understand that this market is an international market. It's not only for the Ado-Odo-Ota local government. So it's a way of sensitizing the whole local government because we have started implementation. So we want them to know. By the time they get back to their various homes, we want them to tell other women because our target for this local government is 105,000 beneficiaries.
Bolanle Fadairo explains that the goal of the initiative is to make women self-reliant, productive, and active contributors to national development. She emphasizes that all women, regardless of religion, ethnicity, or social status, are eligible to join the WAGs. The NFWPSU is a federal government initiative supported by the World Bank and implemented through the Ministry of Women Affairs to improve the livelihood and economic participation of women across the country.
The ward chairman of All Progressives Congress APC in Udugbudu local government of Ogun State have promised to work for the success of the party in the 2027 general elections. The chairman also promised to support the second term bid of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and further support the administration of Governor Dapo Abiodun of Ogun State based on their performance in the areas of socio-economic development of the country. Our reporter, Olaide Oloye, again covered the ceremony.
The World Chairman Stakeholders Gathering, organized by APC Odogbolu local government, saw party elders, ward executives, youth leaders, and women leaders who affirmed their loyalty to the APC and commitment to strengthening the party structure ahead of the 2027 general elections. Speaking at the ceremony, member of the House of Representatives, representing Ijebu Ode, Ijebu North-East, and Odogbolu Federal Constituency, Honorable Femi Ogunbanwo, said the decision to affirm their loyalty and give further support to Governor Dapo Abiodun administration was informed by his achievements across the state, ranging from infrastructure, education, health, and economic development.
We are Moluabi people. What we are doing today is just to say we want to thank you, Prince Dapo Abiodun, Nigeria, Ogun State, Odogbolu local government, Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
The Odogbolu local government chairman, Honorable Babatunde Diya, and the party world chairman noted that Governor Abiodun has demonstrated exceptional capacity and proven leadership at the national level after completing his second term as governor.
The chemistry between him and our president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, we all can see is amazing. And when you have, the federal and the state having a great rapport, it brings succor, to the people of the senatorial district and, of course, the local government.
Many roads we are seeing being constructed in Odogbo local government today. He promised them and is on it now. And we are here to do payback to him for what he has done for us.
Other stakeholders applauded President Tinubu for steering the nation through challenging economy and security conditions, reiterating their confidence in these ongoing reforms.
Go to the markets now and ask for the price of rice. When last did we have a queue in our filling station and everything? Things were bad, but we find things will become better. And of course, come 2027 also, our president will be returning as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
They pledged their readiness to mobilize massively across all wards in Odogbolu local government to ensure victory for President Tinubu in the 2027 general elections. The ward chairman described the stakeholders meeting as a strategic move to consolidate the APC's dominance in Ogun State and strengthen its position at the national level. Olaide Oloye, Ogtv News.
Itori town will soon join the long list of cities and towns in Ogun State where Ogun multi-door courthouses, OMDC, have improved cost-effective and users-friendly access to justice. The Olu of Itori, Oba Fatai Akamo, gave this assurance in Abeokuta while joining prominent Nigerian traditional rulers, groups and legal luminaries who were invested with and given awards as OMDC partners. Fowora Adesanwo reports.
The future belongs to the multi-door courthouse, and Ogun State already has 6 centers in its kitty and is still counting. Ogun State, with the best multi-door courthouse in Nigeria, is open to all who are interested in peaceful coexistence with a win-win resolution, so says Justice Solomon Olugbemi, Chairman Ogun Multi-Door Governing Council, while expressing gratitude to the Chief Judge of Ogun State, Honorable Justice Mosumola Dikpeolu, one of the award recipients for her love for justice generally and justice by alternative dispute resolution, and for immense support given to the OMDC by the Ogun State Judiciary.
If they really want us to establish a center in their community, they must build the center for us, because we are not funded by government, so the government does not build houses for us. So they will build the center, we will give them the specification, they will build the center, and we will supply the personnel. But where we don't supply the personnel, we help them to train the personnel that will work.
Recipients of Ogun State Multi-Door Courthouse Partners Awards include Oba Adewale Ajayi, the Akarigbo and paramount ruler of Remoland, Oba Michael Aremugbadebo, Alake and paramount ruler of Egbaland, Oba Abdurazak Adenugba, Ebumawe of Agowe, and the Olu of Itori, Oba Fatai Akamo, who promised a courthouse and financial donation while receiving his award.
What really matters to everybody is to have peace. So we don't compromise peace with anything. Wherever peace reigns, that tells you there's going to be a development, there's going to be happiness. That is the tricks we use in Itori. We first foster peace among the people, then every other thing follows up.
Some other award recipients and guests speak.
With this award, it has given me an opportunity or to let me know that God in His mercy has crowned my effort. I cherish this award, and that's why I dedicated this award to the people of Agowe.
I want it in my domain, yes. I'm proud. I will be happy, and I will surely support them.
Presence of OMDC show in Ogun State has really helped to let us achieve the kind of peace that we have in Ogun State.
The German Agency for International Development was represented by Olusegun Dada, who promised more funding for the conflict resolution initiative. Eminent Nigerians call for public funding and support for the projects. Ogun State Television Abeokuta was not left out of the OMDC Partners Awards. Fowora Adesanwo, Ogtv News.
Olayemi Takuro is our guide on business news after this break. Please stay with us.
Hello and welcome to Business News. The Federal Inland Revenue Service has stated that Nigeria's newly enacted tax laws are designed to strengthen economic competitiveness, attract investments, and improve long-term fiscal stability. The agency also clarified that the much-debated 4% development levy on imported goods is not a new or additional tax burden, but a streamlined consolidation of several existing levies. In recent weeks, the new Nigeria tax Tax Act and Nigeria Tax Administration Act have sparked widespread debates among citizens and businesses seeking clarity on how the reforms will affect them. But tax authorities say these concerns stem largely from misinterpretations, insisting the laws are aimed at simplifying compliance, protecting incentives, and improving Nigeria's investment environment. According to FIRS in a statement, one of the most misunderstood elements of the new tax framework is the 4% development levy. The agency explained that the levy replaces a range of fragmented charges such as the tertiary education tax, NITDA levy, the Senate levy, and police trust fund levy that businesses previously paid separately. Mining operators in the country have expressed strong opposition to the 6-month planned ban on mining activities announced by the 19 Northern governors. The Miners Association of Nigeria warned that the decision would worsen insecurity rather than curb it, arguing that such measures have historically driven out legitimate operators and created room for bandits and illegal miners to take over mining sites. The association's president, Dele Anyoleke, expressed a strong opposition view during an interview, telling newsmen that previous attempts by some state governments to suspend mining activities only succeeded in driving out legitimate operators and leaving mining sites in the hands of bandits and illegal miners. Vice President Kashim Shettima has called on state governments, federal ministries, departments and agencies, the organized private sector and development partners to intensify efforts towards strengthening Nigeria's business environment, insisting that national prosperity depends on sustained collaboration across all sectors. Speaking in Abuja at the Pebek Gala and Awards Night, organized by the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, the Vice President said the reforms recorded this year reflect the triumph of collaborators over silos and urged stakeholders to build on the gains of 2025. In a statement by Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Communications, Office of the Vice President, Stanley Kocha, the VP said the end of the night does not signal the end of your pursuit of excellence, because excellence is a culture, not an event. It lives only where it is nurtured. And that's it on Business News. Many thanks for watching.